Hi, this is Chris Andrews, 3D Product Manager at Esri. I'd like to share with you some thoughts on 3D and the future of GIS as we go into this year's 2017 Esri International User Conference. If you happen to be attending the Global Distributor Summit, you might see a similar version of this presentation from me there. And if you happen to be joining us at the Imagery and Mapping Forum, Eric Whitner will be using some of this content in his presentation there. Either way, we look forward to seeing you in San Diego if you're able to attend. The experience of GIS is changing. If the future of GIS is to become immersive, interactive, user-friendly, and deeply connected to the intelligent world around us, then what we're starting to see is that 3D is becoming the common visual and analytical experience for tomorrow's GIS. How do I know this? Well, for less than the price of a cup of coffee, the experience of GIS is changing right in your pocket. Google has already shipped about 10 million cardboard units, up from 1 million the year before, which allow you to turn your Android smartphone into an AR or VR experience. In fact, millions more units have been handed out at conferences, 3D printed at home, or sold by other vendors. Throughout my career, I've seen that expectations from consumer markets, like the gaming community, end up infiltrating the professional software product industry. And we're already seeing that with VR and AR. The level of spending on VR in the gaming space is escalating rapidly, and yet we've not quite figured out how VR will impact GIS, though I'm sure it will. For professional users, it's already possible to purchase industrial quality devices that allow your staff to experience both VR and mixed reality from Microsoft, Oculus, and others. High quality VR and AR are going to soon be well within the reach of professional organizations seeking to build for or use these new platforms. There are some tremendous challenges that will be addressed in the near future to attempt to overcome geolocation inaccuracies and streaming issues required for interacting with 3D GIS content in VR, AR, and even mixed reality. But if you think it's only the high-end experiences that have value to end users, consider for a moment Pokemon Go. When Pokemon Go was released, it introduced a low-end AR experience as a gimmick in the overall gaming experience that was an extra draw for kids and some adults alike. In fact, use of Pokemon Go was so compelling that, as many of you know, third-party mapping apps that attempted to map Pokemon locations ended up using our Living Atlas services and drove daily map requests from 500 million a day to almost 4 billion a day. What this demonstrates is that we don't yet know all of the ways that high-end or even lower-end augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality experiences may actually provide value to our users. Let's switch gears and talk about the data that's going to be used in these new experiences. 2 million drones were sold in the US in 2016, up from about 600,000 the year before. In fact, in 2016, 670,000 businesses registered themselves for using UAVs with the US FAA, and this was up from 0 registered in 2015. There has been tremendous effort by governments around the world to catch up with emerging new technologies, both to protect citizen safety as well as to provide competitive advantage to companies interested in launching and researching new business opportunities in their regions. These drone stats are important because many of these drones are being used to capture imagery, point clouds, and other content that can be used in 3D for GIS analysis, visualization, and communication. In fact, the price of data collection is really plunging. What we can see is that Velodyne has proposed pricing for a new solid-state mass-produced LiDAR system that is approaching only about $75 per unit. And in fact, you don't even need LiDAR, right? As we all know, you can go out and for about 1,500 bucks buy a drone with cameras that are suitable for 3D mapping and that can be used with our own drone to map software. But then there will be a whole other way that will be tracked and measured. The IoT industry is promising to meter every toilet, doorway, refrigerator, and oven from here to Bali. That industry holds tremendous promise for hype and for economic change. But if any of you doubt that these numbers are really unapproachable, Consider for a moment that the device in the background, which measures pressure, temperature, and has a camera, and is essentially a prototype for a baby monitoring device, was created by a team of elementary students that I worked with last year for a third through fifth grade robotics project. If elementary student kids can create IoT connected devices with a variety of sensors and programming logic, then you can imagine that businesses are going to start churning these things out all over the place for many uses that we can't even imagine today. Ubiquitous sensors on vehicles are also just around the corner, and we can already see the autonomous vehicle market driving machine learning technologies for feature extraction and creating new technologies and workflows such as this new thing called HD or high def mapping. The world around us is changing, and 3D content and 3D experiences are becoming integral parts of how we conduct our daily lives. Do you know that as a species, we don't even have a 3D map of the Earth at 10 meters resolution today? There are efforts, however, to map large swaths of the Earth at different resolutions using techniques such as LiDAR and satellite imagery to achieve full global coverage at varying resolutions. So UAV and IoT and satellite collected data are adding up to incredible amounts of 3D and 4D information continuously updated for the whole world around us. Why is all this important? Well, it turns out that only 50% of the buildings that will be needed by 2050 to support human population growth and change exist today. In fact, estimates claim that only 25% of the infrastructure that will be needed by 2050 exists today. All of this new construction, infrastructure, and the geodesign and planning that goes into it will be metered, measured, and analyzed in GIS using experiences that we are just figuring out how to work with today. So the future of GIS is already happening all around us, and we look forward to hearing your feedback, ideas, and needs as we all work together to try to tackle the opportunities ahead. Thank you for a few minutes of your time, and I look forward very much to seeing some of you at the Esri International User Conference starting tomorrow down in San Diego. And if not, please feel free to drop me a line at candrews@esri.com. Thank you.